2 weeks ago.
Yesterday, because we were working on my town. Like $700 to go Florence.
I just thought in the last 2 years.
Oh, yeah, we can get it.
30 years. It's sad. My third son.
Not only that, but they locked in that price.
Yes.
It's the wisest decision you've ever made. Then our third son.
Well, yeah, we were
That was getting married to.
Yeah.
Just covered, trying to figure out.
Well, my they got married.
Greg,
What do we do?
you don't mind being visiting from that.
It's kind of throughout.
I've got some family members who some
All that.
Yeah. That makes sense. But usually those are all. Watch when they build the hotel. That's the one.
South African ingenuity.
Yeah, it's figuring it out.
You know, the richest person in the world. Going down. He's from South Africa originally.
Yes, sir.
Elon Musk.
Yes. Yeah.
South Africa.
We've got it.
What part of South Africa is he from?
No idea.
Oh, okay. The little accent that you hear is a little Afrikaans.
Yes, Dutch. Yeah. Well, Dutch dialect.
And Neville, they could run the world.
Especially if they teamed up with the Australians.
Or Twitter.
So you're gonna see a slowdown.
But I decided to look up your website. That's not. It's only 10 minutes.
Yeah. Is it at 5% right now?
I want to say, you know, the typical interest rate over here.
Everyone, it's 12:15. We appreciate you guys. One of my goals when I was doing programming was to get us more out involved in the community. And Sean, we appreciate you being our gracious host here today.
Thanks for coming.
And Gary, if you don't mind, if you could phone up and lead us a prayer before we wait that. Or you can stay there, that's fine. We got our flag over here, everyone. Flag over here, folks. See it?
Oh. Right behind Gary Wilmot.
Gary.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Things we say and think and do. Come word first.
It's true.
Second.
It's a fair all concern.
Third.
Will it build good of their friendships?
That's why I asked you to do this. All I have to do is count. Lord, thank you so much for all you do for us. Thank you, Father, for Rotary and all the many things that's done throughout the world. For everything that's good.
Father, we just appreciate everything that you've done through us to help people. Father, thank you for Easter that we just celebrated. Father, thank you that it wasn't just a story. This was an account. It really did happen. Watch over us and keep us. In your son's name I pray.
Amen.
Gary was going to introduce Sean. He said he's got a Sean Carroll story we'd love to hear.
Well, it's not really a story. I just wanted to say something. You said save it for the group. Now I'm trying to think how can I make it sound so much more exciting. I moved here in 1976, from Lexington, and I had a post office box, and like every day I went in there and I get to meet John Carroll, one of the nicest men I'd ever known. He's really a great guy. I just knew, knowing Sean, you wouldn't know that. And Sean had a real wonderful day, as you know. I'm proud to introduce his son, and John Carroll.
Thank you, Gary. Okay, so let me do visitors first. We have Kathy Clark with us. Welcome, Kathy. You want to introduce yourself and tell us what you do? We know you're from Naples.
Well, originally I'm from Madisonville, Western Kentucky.
Really? Cool.
Newly retired just right before the pandemic from being the dean of the college. And moved here a couple of years ago. Back up here to be a
Great. Welcome. Thank you. Greg's from Knoxville. Greg, go ahead and pronounce your last name for me so I don't make the mistake.
Yeah, Massio.
Massiol, okay.
I'm a Choic, if you're Polish.
Okay.
So I'm driving up to Michigan for a funeral. My cousin's husband died, I think during the pandemic, so they're finally getting around to it. So I'll be up there and visit. I'm going to spend the night with my brother. I still have family up there. So I'm in Knoxville. I'm a past district governor, and I was an Arctic before I was past district governor. And I still am doing business. I do hiring assessments, so I have companies hire people. I own the flag business, and I do project planning. And I do video, like for Mid-South Fest, I do the video work. Great. So all those videos you see, the speakers, I do that.
All right. Thank you. Welcome. And we have Dottie Dawson back with us from Central Bank. Welcome, Dottie. Glad to see you again. You know, only after a few times you might have to join us. You know? No pressure there. The end, make sure she sees you on the way. Thank you, Donna. But thank all of you for being here today. And Gary Greiser couldn't make it. He said he was going to be disappointed about my sports report. And I told Gary that Gary said he had to sing at a funeral today. And I said, well, that might be a little more exciting than my sports report. So, a little more uplifting. Yeah. But let's not, if we look at things really objectively, Jesse Winker's hitting 171. Sonny Gray's on the disabled list. Wayne Miley started on the disabled list. Suarez is hitting less than 100.
And we got Hunter Green. Hunter Green is going to be.
Nick Castellanos looked pretty good. But Hunter Green was very exciting.
Sorry, you caught me off guard a little bit. I didn't honestly have to say anything, but I am newly appointed to the Benton County Planning Commission.
Okay, well, welcome. Yeah. Well, No. Yeah. Good luck to you. God bless you. Yeah. If you get some on your shoe, just leave it at the front of the door. That happens. No, but welcome. I'm going to give you a little intro on new perceptions, and then we'll ask some questions if you have them. And we got a little video. I don't know, you want to go video first since you're eating? Or it doesn't matter. Oh, yeah, go video first. Okay, now this is going to be a challenge. All right. Oh, look at there. So if I just, which ones go here, Neville?
The one that says go.
Okay, what if I press that?
Which one do you want?
That.
Okay, yeah. And then just out the way.
Huh. Where you learn that?
Video, where's the order? Yeah.
Hard to hear.
No, that's it from the.
So this is Kaylee. This is what New Perception does a lot of.
We also do touring, like our shows, just bring loves, all that stuff. So yeah, we also. So I love it because it's so active. I'm not like sitting behind a desk or a computer, just sitting there being bored.
She's very artistic. She likes to draw. And even as a young kid, she's pretty much self-taught. I think it's been pretty neat experience to see her grow in that area, as well as pretty hyper-focused on running. As a younger kid, she got to run in high school, cross country. Even from almost the get-go, you could tell that there was, I guess, some deficits of concerning. So ultimately, when she was younger and taking her into docs, she was diagnosed at the time. It's called nonverbal learning. There was certain issues with that impacted her ability to advance in that regard. Since she was a young kid, and I guess recently, I'd say probably within the last 5 years, they've kind of grouped that with. Unfortunately, I think kids that have similar issues, it's almost like you need more assistance, and oftentimes you don't know how to get it right. So we started working with, I guess, the state to try to get an understanding of what other options there were, and that's when they kind of put us in touch with several different organizations, and then when they talk about perception, right down the road, say, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. It's been the cause.
At first, I did hang out with my job coach basically, so she'd get to know me better, which was Deanna at the time. She would reach out to the other jobs, see if they were interested in hiring. The formal supervisor that I had before she retired, she called Deanna, I believe, and asked if she has a good client for this job. And basically that's how I got here, is because if it weren't for Mary's call, I wouldn't have gotten this job, because I have no idea this type of job existed.
I guess kind of transitioning from high school to then a job, having that interaction, started with that relationship with New Perceptions in terms of just understanding kind of human interaction better, putting yourself in that arena has been very beneficial. In terms of the work, I think she's done well. She's learned what the job expectations are, what the function is. She's able to execute on that. Seems to be pretty motivated in that regard and has been successful in completing those job tasks. She's getting, as stated earlier, that she got hired in as PRN and was able to maintain or get the opportunity to go full time.
Well, Sainie's just awesome. They have very nice people, and they're always thankful for being work. That we put their stuff away, stock their shelves for them, deliver their stuff to make sure it gets to the right place, because they have to perform those tests, which are very, especially for some patients. I have my 1 year pin that I when it's super cold, I wear my scrub top. So, and then I'll put the pin on it, stay 1 year. I like that.
In the right environment, environment, she can really excel. And I think she's been able to do that with her experience, you know, especially here at St. Elizabeth. I think the future is definitely bright and positive, and will allow for her to, you know, gain that level of independence that we're hoping that she can get to.
All right. So that's our largest program. We serve over 400 individuals in the community, individuals that are diagnosed with a disability. And as you can see now, Kaylee, the updated diagnosis on Kaylee is she's on the autism spectrum. So if you wouldn't normally.
If you're an LTV or big customer, you can get paid to go solar in 2000.
Thank you, Neville. So Kaylee is one of the rock stars up there. If it doesn't come across in the video of how proud she is to be working, how much this job has given her the sense of pride and independence, that's what we love doing. And it's like I say to people these days, it's not that employers are being Mother Teresa. It's that our guys come to work, they like being at work, and the new one this year, they passed drug tests. So you got a Triple Crown winner and all these guys that do all these things. But Kaylee's one of our 400 individuals. If you've been to Kroger's, the happy people bagging your groceries, those are my guys. The unhappy ones are the ones I coached in baseball. They don't want to be there. But that's the we get so much recognition from the guys that are out there doing so many things. And we all just went through this pandemic and was driving us a lot crazy. But a lot of my guys out there working, they were deemed essential. So, but we at New Perceptions knew they were essential long before the government said that they were essential. So we've been proud about that. Kroger's, St. Elizabeth, all the fast food restaurants, all of these places are great partners with us. And again, like I said, we created a partnership with St. Elizabeth about almost 20 years ago now, Project Employed, where they were kind of on the cutting edge of getting individuals employed with disabilities. But individuals with disabilities now is almost 20% of our workforce. So it's not like the old days where, they kind of sat at home and the history of us, and this is the history, and that's a good term because it's in the past. So we started out as a school, those terms, those days was the school for the retarded. We don't use that term anymore, so we're happy with that. But we started out as good counsel school in the way of the world. Pioneers of individuals back in the day decided they wanted a better life for their children. So back in the day, it was the societal norm that you could send your kids to Eastern State Hospital or to a place in Somerset where they would all live in a communal type living. They had Down syndrome or something else was considered a malady. That was the societal norm. But we had some folks that in the 50s decided that they wanted something different for their child. So they created schools. Now, as the Lord would work, one was for the Protestants and one was for the Catholics. So we had Riverside and Good Counsel. We all know the Lord works in mysterious ways. So you fast forward a few years and they merged and became Riverside Good Counsel. The Kennedy administration came in and they took over the education of all these folks on a federal basis. So in my day, there was a special education classroom in high school. In my kids' days, there was some interspersing. And now in my grandson's days, everybody's all mixed together all day long. So it's, again, the things that are moving forward as we're gaining on these. So a lot of times when folks wane for the old days, the new days aren't so bad in a lot of respects either. So, but that's kind of the way, once they took over education, then we decided that folks could be in the workforce. So we started helping get individuals get employed. And we wanted the community to have a new perception about what individuals with disabilities could do. So that's when we started to focus on work. And we just had more and more partners for that. So that's our largest program. And I'll show you now our next program is our babies program. This one is a stealth program that folks don't know about. You'll see little Elias up there. He's one of the guys that we've helped in the past. But this is a stealth program. We serve about 275 babies every year from birth to 3. we're a partner with the First Steps program of Kentucky. And we get referrals. The pediatrician will have to say they see some developmental delays. They refer them to First Steps. In other areas, you'll hear it called Head Start. So then they get referred to us, and we send a physical therapist, a speech therapist, or an occupational therapist to your home. Cascade our training to you because you're going to be with the baby a lot more. So those are some of the things that we do. So I have another thing here. If Neville can get me back there, and I'll show you a little guy. This is the first time we've done this. So this is kind of. He's good.
When was it back to this page?
And then there was another. Go one more back. Mhm. This is the first time we've done this. What's truly unique due to the pandemic, we did tele-intervention. The entire time we did tele-intervention for this child, and the parents couldn't be happier. Long evening.
Signs.
3 years old. So yes, he's in school right now, preschool. So get up pretty much, get him ready for school. He catches the bus. It's a big thing for him. Loves the bus. Loves to play. Loves to do puzzles. Loves to do anything digital. So he loves TV. Loves tablets. Electronics. Period. 2 years ago.
Kanai had very limited play skills and no language. His basic place involved running around a room. And that was something that really concerned parents. They wanted to engage with him. They wanted to interact. They wanted him to be able to sit down and play and follow directions.
Very, very shy. Doesn't like to be in big groups. Just him not being able to communicate with us, to tell us if he doesn't feel well or if he's hungry or just anything really. Just that communication barrier is the biggest difference.
So what we do is help build a foundation for learning. We come in and we help a family solve some of the problems that they're dealing with. We teach children how to be able to be as functional and independent as possible in their occupation, which is play. And through play comes learning.
He's just an amazing little guy. We really, in the beginning, with communication, you could just see his frustration. And that's when Tricia and I started to do some co-treats. We had individual therapy sessions with him, and then we had several co-treats. And when we were able to get in there with Mom and build that foundation with his sensory skills, being able to have Mom build that tower with him, have them knock it down, let him take a sensory break and run around the room, and then take a few minutes and just focus on language for just a little while, whether it was working on up with the blocks, fall down, or working on pairing signs with words, or up, helping him develop those basic vocabulary words. And then all of a sudden hearing that word, that was just, we just looked at each other and it was just amazing.
I would not ever forget that first moment after we did all this movement, that he just clicked with Mom, looked her in the eyes, and he smiled and he was engaged. And parents, Mom and Dad really got to see this worked. Working with Kanai throughout the pandemic would have been more difficult if it wasn't for his amazing parents. They jumped right in and carried out every strategy and activity that we recommended.
we've never met in person. Today is actually the first day I've seen Tricia in person. Everything was done over the computer, but with their help, giving me the tools to use for him, it was a great experience. I learned a lot to help him.
We come in and we help lay that foundation so that they can build and learn higher level skills, so that when they go to preschool, they're more ready to learn. They're able to take in and process information more efficiently, so that maybe by the time they get to kindergarten or first grade, they don't need services anymore.
Very, very, very intelligent. Just get him to speak those words. So I feel like it's just, there's so much going on in that brain of his where it's just kind of hard for him to get the words out. But like I said, with this therapy, that we've been going through with the perception children, I feel like he has a very, very bright future. I feel like he's going to be an engineer of some sort.
Seek out as much as you can, learn as much as you can about what's going on with each other, and go forward. Don't look at it as something that's detrimental. Look at it as something that's you're building on. Look at where you want to go and find those little steps on how to get there, because the future is very bright for everyone, no matter what.
Thank you, Nell. So Kenai didn't say a word for 3 years. Can you imagine? I mean, some parents might enjoy that, but after a while, you need some help. So Kenai is, he's still very soft-spoken, but he's saying words to parents that, mom's crying her eyes out just because that brain inspired it. That dark spot's mine. Yeah. But so Kenai is like one of our 275 kids that we help, and it's amazing how you can get to them through different therapies that most of us don't think about. These guys, the OTs and the speech therapists, do a great job getting them turned on. He's chatting up quite a bit these days, and folks are glad to hear it. So, but that's the neat thing about that, and I sent it to the state to see what they think about it. Is through teleintervention, which most of us are tired with Zoom. We all, our first Rotary meeting back together was great. Seeing everybody, breaking bread. But this may have a place to help people, especially in rural Kentucky. We were helping a penny rural district this year, and the same thing where they don't have a lot of therapists. And anything we could do for those kids that might be able to help. So we're doing that. Our smallest program you're gonna see in action, and that's where we have to wear the mask when we go see the guy. If you're afraid of hugs or handshakes, then you might want to hang back up here. But if you're not, you might have the best day you've had in a long time. So what we do downstairs is piecework in our work center. We have a number of different contracts with biomedical companies. So one of the things you're going to see is you guys are putting together caps and sports. Sport, I'm sure you've seen, where they Kentucky Fried Chicken, the little spoon that has the decorations on it. So we'll put those together into a little cap, and people will say, "Well, what's that for?" It's for when you go to the doctor, and the doctor hands you a vial with a cap on it, and he says, "Now, you bring me back a sample when the time moves." Okay. So there's some young guys up here in front, Gary, that are not getting that joke. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you were smiling before I got all the way through it. So so we put all kinds of, we put in screens. If you have kidney stones, a lot of that stuff we put together for folks. So these guys, it's the work center. They're big into sports. They're big into being happy. They come all the time. They'll get off their buses. They bring in their lunches. We don't make lunch here, so they'll bring in their own lunches. And before COVID, it was their thing that they had to microwave it or get it out of the fridge or whatever. But now we're trying to keep a separation still. So the CDC guidelines for us are still that the guys on the bus have to wear masks because that's a federally funded program. And we get a lot of our income from Medicaid as well. So then when they're in a big communal gathering like that, we're still not allowed to do what we want. But our guys are over 95% vaccinated. I think it might be almost 97 now. And a lot of our staff are vaccinated. So individuals with Down syndrome are 40% more likely to have a very negative effect of the virus. So that was something that was I learned a lot about. And so a lot of our folks are more interested in those guys than themselves. And they're not here to help out Heritage Bank or Central Bank with their income packages, but they're here for their hearts and helping the guys and helping our community. So I'm blessed, lucky, fortunate, whatever your term is, to have all those team members here. So questions for me? I know Dwayne had a question about the building. We're 2 acres under roof. First entity in here was Dr. Spurdy. Gary Dennis would remember back in the day, Dr. Spurdy, he was a Boone County. This is Spurdy Drive or Spurdy Lane in Burlington. Dr. Spurdy was a scientist, basically. He had a doctorate, but his thing was science. He created a Spurdy cream, and Spurdy cream was something that mom would rub on you for a rash from sliding into second or poison ivy or whatever. I mean, it was the ultimate for everybody. And then he invented the sun lamp, and that was not for aesthetics, that was for depression. Because you hear more and more about people with sundowners and those sorts of things. And then one of his concoctions turned out to be Preparation 8. So he made a lot of money, but he basically died a pauper because he was just investing it back into trying to make society a better place. So that was that. And then we had the TV truck companies that they used to build satellite trucks here. You know, now you go and there's a van there with 2 reporters. Well, back in the day, they had these big box trucks with satellites on them and all that. So we have a big rolling door back there where they roll in and make those things up. Do that. And we purchased the building then and got the permanent paper about 8 or 9 years ago. So that's always a good thing. And that's kind of what we do. Other questions? Yes, sir. Future plans. Future plans. We do what we do well. So our supported employment is where we're going as far as like more and more employers are needing more and more employees. So we're investing a lot more into training and training spots for those folks. But the program you see today is our safety net. Some of these individuals have tried to work in the community and were unsuccessful, or some adult takes advantage of some of these guys in the community. So they can come here, give them purpose, and they are safe here, and their parents can go to work and be taxpayers and those sorts of things.
How are you funded?
We get Medicaid funding for the folks in the back. I get a little bit of money for the supported employment. We get one-time placement. Kathy Stavros is one of our board members over here and a Rotarian. So we get some placement from that. And then we have fundraisers. And through this, the Medicaid reimbursement for our hour of service is $89 for a child. So next time you pay $89 for a service, let me know. Our cost is about $360 for that service. Yes, Dennis.
Under your umbrella, you had mentioned 400 something workers.
Support employment out in the field.
We had 200 something
babies
in your group here.
It's about 100, 110.
Okay, so you're 800-900 people.
We get to influence about 800 lives on an annual basis.
That's a big impact you have on a lot of people.
Thank you. Yeah, well, what we do is the child program is unique. Most people just let that go to independent contractors and they don't do it, but our board, ourselves, we believe in, you know how insurance is for paying for preventive care. It's not something that's out there, but it's something that we feel committed to. So we have other ways to try to raise funds and some of the other dollars we move around. But yeah, that's what we get to do.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. We're about 45. Something like that. No, they're just mostly, well, we have most of our folks in supported employment have bachelor's degrees in various things. Back here, you're going to see more individuals without degrees. Our obviously, they're occupational therapists and physical therapists and speech therapists. Those are master degree individuals. Now our OTs are bachelors. And many of you that have young kids that are in anything these days, everybody has to be a doctorate. I don't know how I'm going to be able to pay for people having doctorate degrees until they get burnt out at children's where they have to see X amount of kids a day. When they come my way to have babies and take care of babies. That's the reality of that. That's getting pricey. Great question. I can bring that up because that's going to be a challenge. Yes, Gary.
Sean, you mentioned some of these young people go out and work for Rotary and places like that. Are these stores calling you, or you have to go out and find these people?
They usually call us, and then we keep a relationship with them. You know, Progress is a great example. We've had long-term relationships with them, but they have retirements, so we have to build our new relationships with those guys. But yeah, St. Elizabeth, we sent them 2 rock stars here in the last couple of years, and they're just on us pretty much now. What do you have? Can they work with us? Let's give them a try. That's good. Yes, Gary. Absolutely. We have a number of placements at Amazon. I'll show you one when we get to the back warehouse. We actually had a training area here, but we didn't don't think poorly of Amazon, but they got tax breaks to go to certain places. And then after the tax breaks expired, then their programs change a little bit. So that's not unlike other manufacturers that we deal with in the area, but we have Big John is one of my Amazon guys, and he's about this tall and about this wide, and he said they're actually cutting his shifts right now at Amazon, which I don't know if that's my early supply chain information. If things are slowing down or not, those planes are still going over my house. So unless Big John just needs a break and he's telling me something else. But yes, we have a lot of that going on as well. Any other questions? All right. If you could, we get your mask on and I'll show you where we're going to go. If everybody's okay with steps, we can go down with steps. If you need an elevator, we'll meet you down there. Are you okay? Okay. You don't have a mask. You just got one over here on the stage.
That's always organizing.
My pleasure. I don't always get it like 100%, but
Yeah.
we limp along, we'll make
I
it.
think you'd be perfect. Better than any of us could have.
Julia spoiled us. She gets it done. She gets it done 100%. Go ahead.
Now it's really smart guy.
That's one in front of me. I'm on the board. I want to start.
Have fun.
Rich's Ice and the ice and water machine. Yeah, love that. So then they'll come in here and have their eats and do what they do. They got a bar ceiling donated to the big street paving shortly after I was here. They were getting rid of those pavings and more. Oh, that's nice. All in the wall here of my employees of the month. You get a $25 gift certificate to Bob Evans, and you would think you gave them $1 million. Hey, Neville, Dennis. Hi. Gary. Hi. Good afternoon, Mark. Yes, good afternoon. I'm Dennis here. Nice to meet you. Hey, you want some? How you doing? Toss it in there.
All right.
That's right. It is for the specimen. Don't tell everybody it's bad for business. What? Don't tell everybody. It's bad for business on the specimen thing. All right.
Hi, how you doing?
Did you
Mark?
Yeah. Yep, I could have used one of those.
Yeah.
Screen on top of it so they go out. Yeah, Special Olympics, we had like a 4-game season this year, so we're getting back to it. How are you, Carol? You guys are all forever. Say hi.
Hi, Carol.
Hey, how you doing? Good. Mark, I always appreciate I'm born to run away in my life. I'm gonna forget it. And I know where I'm going. So this used to be a parking deck on top. So some folks are interested in that. This is all poured. Today you just see them bringing in slabs with a crane. But if you look close enough, there's still some paper up there in certain areas where this thing was all poured. Wow. So this is one of the areas we stage all the toys for the Steinford Foundation. Oh, yeah. Where we have our bigger warehouse back here. So this is really a production thing, you know. So you'll have the companies are going to drop stuff off, if it gets quality released, then we put it together out there.
What's the hours? The work hours?
They're usually like 7:30 to 2:30. I get all kinds of donations. Anybody need some cat something wire for computer?
This warehouse.
As businesses will do sometimes, it all ends up in a dumpster. And the guy, our electrician, went and got all those, and put them in the dumpster. So we got a lot of good people helping us in our community. This is a chair graveyard.
Yeah, what do you do with the chairs? What do you do with the chairs?
Well, we prefer non-cloth chairs. And they're getting tired, and I'm not sure what to do because they're not completely bad, but they don't look so good. We can't have any of the stuff getting in the crop. So I'm afraid that will end up someplace I would prefer they not end up. But it's
You associate with Redwood?
Redwood and Baywag are kind of partners of ours. So things that we don't, Redwood does a lot more medical models than we do. So they take care of a lot of those things. Baywag, very similar to us, but they don't do as Dennis is pointing out, we have our support employment is huge compared to everybody else in the community. So our inclusiveness in the community with the 400 plus is our biggest thing. And then the babies program, the other guys, Redwoods does that on campus a little bit, but not as much. But we couldn't do what we do without Redwood and Baywag.
You know, Kentucky, you're not signed up one county or two counties.
No, we're all in North Kentucky. I mean, we could go 8 counties.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Good.
Yeah, they got a lot of needs down in, just like I was mentioning upstairs, Grant and Gallatin and Owen, those guys are really underserved still. And, but it's painful for me financially to send a therapist down there for an hour because you got an hour drive and an hour back.
Yeah.
There was the conveyor belt I was talking about. So that was what Amazon was doing with us. You got freezers on there? Well, we had a food program. Okay. Yeah. So I got a fridge there and a freezer here. So those have been sitting there, and I'm told they're mine now. And I've had people come in and want to turn them into a kiln for wood, and they want the fridge for deer. So I haven't worked it all out yet. I haven't had the highest price. I'd be happy to move that along if anybody has a price. Yeah, you have to disassemble it yourself and put it back together somewhere.
Is that what
Okay.
something like this?
Not that big.
Not that big?
It's a walk-in.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Mark, we bought something like that for the very low condition.
The other little thing we're doing, I have some people from Children's Hospital that are coming in there. So we storing a lot of this back equipment. So these things, like, these things are different. This is for tennis, actually. So the guy will slide around on this and hit the ball back and forth, which is, when I see this, I'm like, I don't know how it works, but that's what they tell me. There's one with like bumpers on the front of them. Those are for rugby. So these guys, yeah. So, yeah. And again, this is where we thank you guys. Appreciate it. Any other questions? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's a good point.
I don't know. We could have somebody put their vest on and have a picture scanning. We had fake little guns. I don't know where they went. But if you're ever interested in visiting or somebody else to visit, please come ahead. We're always interested in board members, volunteers. Think of us. So let us know. We're going to have the Kentucky Colonels here on Saturday doing projects outside. So it's supposed to be 80 degrees instead of whatever it is today. God love Norman, Kentucky. You get everything.
I think I can speak on behalf of everybody. Y'all, you're doing a wonderful job. It's a wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything.
Thanks, guys. Please come back this way. If you don't have anything upstairs, I'll show you that way out there.